Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and we're going to start the day with a bit of a laugh. George Galloway, as we know, a most reprehensible person, really, but a gobshite on legs. But somehow there is something about him. He does talk a good game, whether he can deliver or not, different matter. But he's a good speaker, right? Can't take that away from him. He, to much, shall we say, much trumpets and blaring and, oh, look at us, aren't we successful, announced just last week that Monty Panesar, the ex-England cricketer, was joining his party and was going to fight a seat and was going to stand and was, going to push for what George thinks is the right way forward and all this. And that's fine. And it was a big thing. Look, we've got a big name joining us. Someone instantly recognisable. Someone from an ethnic background, because Panesar's a Sikh. And all this. So he was having all this wonderful news. And here we are, a week later. And Monty Panesar has had to quit because he's realised that politics is not for him. Politics is hard. With politics, you have to have a brain, you have to think. And for poor old Monty, much as he's skilled in the art of cricket, he just ain't no thinker. Let's have a look to see why Monty's given up, and it really is a sad, sad example of why some people just are not built for politics. Here you go. So George Galloway dealt embarrassing blow as Monty Panesar quits the party after just one single week. The news is a blow for the political firebrand whose party aims to have hundreds of candidates standing in the general election. Hundreds of candidates, none of whom, of course, will win. This is the point. It is just a joke, isn't it? Monty Panesar has quit George Galloway's party just 1 week after being unveiled as a candidate. The former England cricketer was due to contest the Ealing Southall constituency in West London, which is currently held by Labour. But now he isn't. And it's cracking. In a post on X today, Mr Panesar said he will no longer contest the seat for the Workers' Party of Britain after a series of car crash interviews. He said, "I'm a proud Brit who has had the honour to represent my country at the highest level of cricket." And a fine cricketer he is too, there's no doubt. Politics? Not so much. He says, "I now want to do my bit to help others, but I recognise I am at the beginning of my journey and still learning about how politics can help people." Still learning about politics, full stop, I suggest, Monty. He says, "So today, I am withdrawing as a general election candidate for the Workers' Party. I realise I need more time to listen, learn, and find my political home, one that aligns with my personal and political values." So basically he's saying he needs to find his political home, but George Galloway's party isn't it. Because, of course, George Galloway's party is very left, isn't it? It's almost a Marxist party. Mr Panesar was the most high-profile candidate announced by Mr Galloway, the MP for Rochdale and leader of the Workers' Party of Britain, during a press conference he did on April the 30th at Westminster. Mr Galloway is aiming to scupper Labour's chances at the next general election in protest at Sir Keir Starmer's stance on Israel-Gaza conflict after he initially failed to back an immediate ceasefire. And indeed, he's going specifically after Angela Rayner's seat. They want that scalp. They would love to get Angela Rayner and get her oot. And that, I think, would be funny. I think that would benefit everyone, really. Anyway, Mr Panesar appeared to be confused, that's a light way of saying it, about the role of NATO, which incidentally should be in all capitals, but what do you expect? Modern journalism being rubbish. Anyway, about the role of NATO, which Mr Galloway's party has pledged to leave, in an interview with Times Radio the day after he was unveiled. And of course, leaving NATO is why they'll never get in. NATO is the one organisation you do want to be part of. The ex-England cricketer incorrectly suggested that NATO was making it more difficult for Britain to control its borders when it comes to immigration. I think you'll find it's the other way round. NATO helps us compete our borders. It helps borders to be protected, especially when there's 30 million Russians hoving across the next hill. He said, I think the reason they're saying that, the reason our party is saying it, is because we don't really have control on our borders. We have illegal migration, he means immigration, and then what happens is some of these illegal migrants go into the poorer, more deprived area, and then the resources get strained in those areas. He says it affects, the ordinary people, our working people in this country, so it affects the poorest. And I think that one of the reasons, our party wants to maybe, have a debate about it is really necessary to be in NATO or not. Yes, Monty, being in NATO, good. Really, really good. It's going to protect us, you idiot. If you've got a problem with the borders, it's because they're open and no one's patrolling it. And nobody is saying enough. Nobody's saying, please stop. We do not want these uncultured third world barbarians coming here. And then blowing themselves up. NATO. What an arse. It's almost as though he's gone through his whole life and he hasn't watched a single news programme. He hasn't read a book. He hasn't read a newspaper. How can anyone go through life that stupid? I mean, it's got to be fairly thick. He joined Galloway's party and thought it was a good thing. Yes, the Workers' Party, it will stand up for the workers. No, Monty, that's not why it exists. It exists so that George Galloway can draw a salary. Coming up. So yes, politics is hard. You do have to think on your feet sometimes. But how do you go through not knowing what NATO is? How could you possibly live your entire life as a British-born citizen, which Monty is, and not know? It's inconceivable that this man has gone through his whole life and doesn't know some basic facts about the very country he lives in. What's he been doing? Head under a stone. Unbelievable. Monty, great cricketer. Stick to it. You're getting too long in the tooth for the national game now. Keep playing local level. Keep training them. Act as manager, coach, whatever you do. Keep doing it. It's fine. For God's sake, keep out of politics. Let those who are better versed in the dark arts get on and do it. And one other thing. Go and read a newspaper. Go and watch some news. Go, educate yourself. Learn. Don't stand there and make a complete buffoon of yourself on a national stage. It doesn't look good. And it kind of makes you look like an absolute idiot. Anyway, I shall round off there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And I will speak to you later. Bye.